Hi, my name is Frederick Isasi, and I'm the Executive Director of Families USA. I'm here to celebrate a very important milestone. As you probably remember, the Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act was signed into law by President Obama on March 23, 2010. It is more commonly known as the Affordable Care Act, or the ACA. I'm so proud to join so many of you in celebrating its 10-year birthday this month. The law was one of the most sweeping bills ever passed in our nation, and included so many provisions aimed at improving the health of the American people. In addition to improving the ability of families to secure high-quality health insurance and protecting people with pre-existing conditions, the ACA allows children to stay on their parents' insurance until they turn 26. It also improved the coverage and the solvency of the Medicare program for seniors, created new, more affordable access for life-saving drugs, and even made billions of dollars of investment in community health centers. As you may know, one of President Trump and Republican leaders' first goals when they gained control in 2017 was to repeal the ACA. Our mission here at Families USA is to ensure the best health and healthcare are equally accessible and affordable to all in our nation. We were deeply concerned about repeal efforts because it was clear the proposals by President Trump would leave tens of millions of families without coverage. In fact, more people than before the ACA was passed. They also would destroy the protections for people with pre-existing conditions and take hundreds of billions of dollars away from the Medicaid program, which is central to providing care for children, seniors, and many working families. I'm very happy and proud to say that after an enormous battle in 2017 and 2018, we successfully defended the ACA and Medicaid, and President Trump's repeal efforts failed. Now we are working with our national partners and hundreds of partners in every state, leading the national movement that says enough is enough. The people of this nation deserve lower healthcare costs and better care, and we are fighting back against Republican leadership's ongoing efforts to repeal and sabotage support for healthcare. We have said loud and clear that the Trump administration's support for overturning the ACA puts the care of millions of families and protections for pre-existing conditions at risk, and it will raise healthcare costs for tens of millions of people in this nation. Unfortunately, the attacks on the ACA continue. In the sweeping tax bill of 2017, the legislation that lives in infamy for providing enormous payoffs for the very wealthiest in this nation, the top 1% of 1%. Republican leadership and President Trump changed one key provision in the ACA related to a requirement that all in our nation secure health insurance. By making this change, they opened the door to a group of 20 Republican state attorney general and governors to again challenge the law in court. The case is moving through the federal court system, but very concerningly, the trial judge ruled that the entire law should be struck down based on the change that President Trump and Republican congressional leaders made in the tax law. The case is being heard on appeal now, so families can still get coverage, but eventually the Supreme Court will have to decide if the changes in law by President Trump and Republican leadership in Congress will end up destroying the ACA and in turn destroying all the coverage and protections it provides to our nation's families. And as he said in the past, President Trump announced in his 2021 budget that he wants to double down on his threat to repeal the entire ACA. The health, financial security, and in some cases the very lives of millions of families across the United States are at risk if President Trump and the Republican establishment are allowed to succeed in destroying the ACA. Tens of millions of families would lose coverage. The Medicaid program could lose over $1 trillion. Cost of healthcare coverage for the American people would increase dramatically, protections for people with pre-existing conditions would disappear, and health insurance companies would again be able to play games, discriminate, and deny coverage. This is a fight for our children, our moms and dads, our grandparents, brothers and sisters, and our neighbors. Most Americans agree we are one of the wealthiest nations in the world and spend 2 or 3 times more than other nations on healthcare. We deserve a country where, if our child, our spouse, our neighbors get sick, they can be guaranteed high-quality care without having to worry about losing their home and all they've worked for throughout their life. We must all lift our voices and let Republican leaders and President Trump know we are not going back. We will hold them accountable if our health care is taken away. This is Frederick Isasi, and we are all Families USA.